Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're starting off with this silver piece I found at the Goodwill store. It looks like a gravy boat, but it's all attached together. I'm not really sure what it was. I'm going to take this Redesign by Prima Decor mold in Regal trimmings, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cornstarch the mold and get some clay in there. What I want to do is I want to put this around the lip of the tray just to give it some more interest. I have some IOD clay here, and what you want to do is you just want to work it in your hands. It's super soft. And then we're going to start pushing it down into our mold. As you're pushing it down, just be mindful that these don't have micro edges. So you're going to want to try to keep your clay as close to the casting part of it as possible, or the mold part of it. Once I get it pretty close, I go in with this spackle knife that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I just go along the edge, pulling off any excess clay. Then I'm just going to simply roll it back, and look how easy that came out. Next we'll go in with some Titebond Quick and Thick, and I'm just going to put a nice layer on there and just kind of rub it in with my finger. Once I'm satisfied I got to the edges on this casting, I'm going to place it around the lip of my mold. I think the silver piece itself has a lot of personality, but I didn't feel that way quite about the top, so I thought this would be a good way of dressing that up. I'm just positioning the casting around the lip and gently pressing it down onto that lip. You can see already how much character it gives it. Now I go in and I'm going to create another casting, so I'm just going to use my cornstarch again and cornstarch the mold, work up a little bit of clay to make it a little softer, and then I'm going to press it down into the mold. Again, I want to keep that clay as close to the cavity as possible, and then I go in with the spackle knife, clean it up, and roll it back. We're going to add our Titebond again and get a nice thick coat. Then we're going to add it to the top rim, again gently pushing, especially where they meet, around the rim of the entire silver piece. To pay close attention to where they meet, because it can pull apart when it dries because the clay shrinks. So as close as possible as you can get it. I do go in with this little scraper and gently push the two pieces together, and I also turn it around to the hard side and kind of recreate the little wedge that's between each piece of the casting. Now I'm going to take the IOD birdsong mold, and I'm going to create castings of this bird for each side. So we just take our cornstarch and cornstarch our mold because that will help it release easier. We work our clay a little bit and then we push it down into the mold. Molds are so fun. They're just such a great way to really elevate the look of a piece. Again, we're just going to take the spackle tool and rub it across the micro edge to clean up any of the excess clay. I hope everyone's been enjoying the DIYs I've been bringing to you. Although I love Shabby Chic, I do have other design interests, and I'm definitely a farmhouse girl. If anyone's interested in seeing some of those videos, I'm definitely going to be creating some soon. And now we have a pretty little bird. We're going to take our Titebond again, and we're just going to put a nice layer on that and smooth it down a little bit, making sure to get around the edges because we don't want the edges to lift as the clay dries and it shrinks a bit. So I get him positioned and I gently place him on there just in case I need to pull him up. Now I'm going to create another casting for the other side, and I just repeat the steps of the cornstarch so that we can release easier, the cleaning up by the micro edge, and then again we're going to go in and pop him out. I'm already loving the way this is looking. Please give me a thumbs up if you like it too, or consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Now I'm going to go in with some Waverly chalk paint in the color Elephant. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting into all of the details of the castings. And then I go in and I pounce out the paint just to hide any of the paintbrush marks. Once I give it 2 coats and get it dry, I'm going to go in with my white wax by Jolie, and I'm going to put a nice thick coat over the entire thing. I start with the top and work my way inside. I then go onto the sides and to the bottom, definitely making sure that I get around that bird really well. And now I'm going to go in with a microfiber cloth, and I'm going to start to dab more than wipe it back because I really want it to look almost like cement or just very washed, not exactly dry brushed, but I definitely want the white wax to shine here. I continue to go in and dab all of the details and do a little bit of wiping. I wiped it too much. That's why I said it's easier just to kind of dab at it because you'll still get the look that you want. You can always go in and add more wax. And I think this piece turned out great. Okay, now I have this sign that I found at 90% off at Hobby Lobby. And it's just a really good base. So what I did was I took some Rust-Oleum chalk paint, or I'm sorry, some Rust-Oleum matte white paint, and just spray painted the entire thing. Then I'm going in with my Waverly chalk paint and silver lining. And what I'm going to do is there's actually a raised canvas in the middle. So I'm going to carefully go around the entire canvas frame and paint on the inside, and then I go on the outside as well. I give it a blow dry because I'm a little impatient sometimes, and then I go in and I give it a second coat, just being careful not to get that chalk paint onto our white canvas portion. And again, because of the brush strokes, I do go in and pounce the paint out a little bit. Now I'm going to take this Redesigns transfer by Prima and bike rides. There's 4 designs on here, and I've chosen the one that I want to use. I kind of position it to exactly where I want it. I've cut it very close to the design itself because the less you're working with, the easier it will be to work with. So I take a piece of painter's tape and I tape it down just so it kind of stays in place. Then I'm going to lift up the clear coating that has the transfer on it and remove the carrier sheet. I gently go in and lay it down, starting from the top to the bottom, and just with my hand smooth it down. I'm just kind of wiping from the outside, from the inside out, just in case there's any air bubbles. Now it comes with this wood stick, but a lot of times it's too soft when you're working on softer surfaces. So I'm just going to use it real quick to kind of give a quick burnish on all of the edges, and then I go in with something harder. I'm just going over top of the transfer, paying really close attention to the skinny wording, and especially on the outside. It tends to stick a little more on the outside of the transfers, I feel. As you're rubbing, you can start to easily peel it up, and if you notice that something's not sticking exactly right, you can just put it back down, give it a little bit more pressure, and rub it down some more. Now I just kind of work slow and steady, peeling it up, putting it back down if I need to, and then working all the way up to the top. Then I gently rub over top with the carrier and make sure there's no bubbles in it. And it is so pretty. Okay, now I have these two pots. I believe they were from Target at one point, and they're plastic at the bottom, but the greenery is really great. I couldn't get the greenery out. I think the styrofoam is really glued in there well, so what I did was take some painter's tape and just put that around both of the greenery parts so I don't get paint on it. Now I'm taking just a little bit of rubbing alcohol and I'm going around the entire thing on both of them just to clean them up. Now I'm going to use this DOS modeling clay. It is also air dry clay, and when you first open the package, it's very moist and sticky. With any of your air dry clays, you just want to kind of work them a little bit. And now I'm going to take some cornstarch and I'm going to put it on my work surface. What I do now is I roll the clay out. I just pulled this little wood piece off of a foam tip brush and I'm using it as a little roller, and I'm rolling out the clay to the thickness that I want it. And what we're going to do is roll it out to the size of our pot. I hold it up and see it's a little big, so I just go in and cut off a little bit and then just roll it out so it has a smooth edge. Now that I know it's going to fit, I go in with some Titebond quick and thick and I put a thin layer over the entire piece, making sure I get close to all of the edges, and just glue that right onto the front of the pot. I'm smoothing down the edges close to the base of the pot so that it kind of really blends in. Now I'm taking the Iron Orchid Designs Decor stamp and Kindest Regards, and what it looks like is a handwritten letter. I'm just deciding which part of it that I want to use, and then I hover over the clay and make sure that's where I want it, and then I gently push from the center outwards, creating an impression in the clay. And just look how cool this looks. I love it. Every time I do this, I get so excited. Now I'm just going to repeat the step for the second pot. I use cornstarch, I work my clay and roll it out, make sure it's the right thickness, get it to fit the pot, and then I add some glue. Again, I make sure that my edges are smoothed down close to the base of the pot, and then I choose another area that I want to imprint on this one and do the same thing. Press from the center and work out to the edges. Now I want to add a few more things. So I'm taking this lock and key mold by IOD and I'm going to cornstarch it so that we get an easier release. And I do each of the sections that I want to use. Then I'm going to take some clay, work that in my hands, get a little warm and soft, and then gently press it inside of the mold. As I wipe it back from the micro edge, you can see the key take shape. I then go in with some more clay and I start the second key and repeat the steps, taking the spatula knife and cleaning up the clay around the micro edge, and then I peel it out and remove the first key. Once I get him out, I'm just going to go in and work out the other one. Now I'm going to go in and create the impression of this lock. I push my clay in and gently wipe away against the micro edge, and then I gently roll him out as well. After I get him out, I pull over my first pot and kind of decide where I want to put it. I love layering the pieces because I think it just gives it dimension and just so much more character. I put on our Titebond Quick and Thick, and just glue it down, kind of gently pressing more outward towards the edges so that it doesn't lift when it dries. Then I go in and I repeat the steps for the keys. I kind of decide where I want them, move them around a little bit, and then I'm going to take again the Titebond and put a nice layer, paying attention around the edges, because again, you don't want that to lift too much. It is going to lift a little bit just because it shrinks. And gently just put them down and pat them around their edges so that they stay. I do the same thing with the second key, put a nice coat of glue on there, and then lay the key down. Now I'm just going to let that dry overnight. I'm going back in with my Waverly chalk paint in Silver Lining, and I'm just going to give these a nice coat. I'm going in and making sure I'm getting into the cracks of all of those details and then painting the base of the pot. Again, I'm trying to dab out or soften any of the brush strokes. I give them 2 coats. Now I'm going in with Ballet Slipper. Again, getting into all of the details, painting the base, pouncing out any of the brush strokes, and then again 2 coats. Now that it's dry, I'm going to go in with our wax, white wax by Jolie, and I'm going to put in a nice thick coat, making sure I'm getting into all of the details and around the base of the pot. Then I go in with the microfiber cloth again, and I just gently wipe away. If you wipe too much away, you can always go back in and add some more. I'm dabbing. I don't want to wipe it away because I want the kind of wispy, airy look. And I feel like if I dab, I get better results. So now I'm just doing the same thing. I'm repeating the steps for the gray pot, dabbing it away, because I want to keep most of that wax in so that the letters pop. The letters, the keys, the key lock, and we're done. Again, if I've inspired you in any way, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment. You can see our little silver piece. I'm using it to hold jewelry. You could put a little plant in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I hope you've enjoyed everything we've done together today. It sure was a lot of fun, and I hope you come back to see more. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye.